Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aska and today you're going to learn how to crochet this polo shirt. This is a Brazilian crochet polo shirt, but it's just a normal polo shirt. The reason why I call that is because of the colors. So in my previous video we had made a similar polo shirt but with a different stitch pattern. So if you haven't checked that out, please go ahead and do so. Okay, so if you're new here and you've not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so as well and click the notification bell. So without saying much, let's get started. So for the materials, you're going to need a tape measure, you're going to need a 4.5mm crochet hook. You're going to use a medium weight yarn, so I'm going to use a 4.5mm crochet hook. I'm going to need 2 stitch markers, a pair of scissors, your darning needle, and yarn. So for the yarn, I'm going to use these 2 colors. This is a medium weight yarn and this is a lightweight yarn. This is a fingering weight yarn. So green will be the major color and we're just going to use a little of this. So since this is a lightweight yarn, I'm going to double the strand. But for the medium weight, I'm just going to use just a single strand. Okay, you can see the difference. The green one is bigger than this one. So you're going to double the strand for this. Okay. So the brand of the yarn that you're using, this medium weight yarn, is Winter King. This is a Kenyan brand and it's a medium weight yarn. And for the lightweight yarn, this is Robin. It's also a Kenyan brand and it's 100% acrylic. Okay, so you can go ahead and use any other medium weight yarn of your choice. So let's go ahead and start. Now before we begin, you're going to need your measurements and you're going to consider your chest measurements. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. You're going to start by making a knot, just a simple knot, or you can make a slip knot anyhow you like, just like that. I'm going to work with a chest measurement of 32 inches, so I'm going to start with chains that exceed that size. Okay, the chains should go up to 35 or 36 inches. Okay, you're going to take the measurements once you're done. So go ahead and make your chains and you're going to meet once you get to the end. Now I'm done making the chains that I needed and this measures 35 inches. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the first row. Then you're going to take the measurements on the first row. So to begin the first row, you're going to yarn over and insert your hook into the third chain from the hook, 1, 2 into the third one, pull up a loop, make a double crochet. So yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, yarn over, go to the next chain, make a double crochet, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And you're going to keep placing 1 double crochet in each chain till you get to the end. Then you're going to take the measurements once you get to the end. Now I'm almost getting to the end of the row and I think I have what I need. So I'm going to take the measurements right now. And at this point I'm going to measure 32 inches. Okay, so I'm going to place this end at this point. Okay, 32 inches. Then I'm going to measure my work. And I don't want to stretch my work, just place it down flat like that. Okay, don't stretch your work. Now I'm going to undo these extra stitches up to that point. We can measure it when it's folded. We can fold it into 2 like this and just confirm. Then you're going to measure half of it. So I'm going to measure 16 inches. You see it measures 16 inches. Okay, so now before we go ahead to the next step, you're going to count how many stitches you have all round and you're going to make sure that they are in multiples of 3 plus 2. Okay, so let me go ahead and count mine and I'll let you know. I've counted mine and I do have 128 stitches, so that is in multiples of 3 plus 2. because if you minus 2 we have 126, and 126 is multiples of 3, then plus that 2. Okay, now from this point you're going to join our work. So make sure that your work is not coiled, like this. Then you're going to go to the first stitch here and make a slip stitch, like that. Then you're going to chain 3, and this 3 counts as a stitch. Okay, so into that first stitch you're going to place a double crochet, so you have 2 stitches. Then you're going to chain 1 and skip the next stitch. To the next one make a double crochet, then to the next place a double crochet as well, like that. Then you chain 1, yarn over, skip the next stitch. To the next 2 stitches you're going to place 1 double crochet in each, like that. Then you chain 1, skip 1. To the next 2 stitches place 1 double crochet in each, just like that. And you're going to keep repeating this pattern, and you're going to meet once you get to the end. Okay, so at this point you're going to join this space here, so go ahead and undo the extra stitches, like that. Then you're going to go to the first stitch, the first chain here. You're going to join this part and take this loose end, make a slip stitch with it, like that, and that way we have joined. Now continue with the second row, and you're going to meet once you get to the end of the row. When you get to the end of the row you should have 1 stitch left here, so you're going to chain 1 and go to the first stitch, join your work, make a slip stitch, like that. And this is how your work should look like at this point. Now let's go to the second row. You're going to chain 3 and turn your work. Then into that first chain 1 space you're going to place 1 double crochet. Remember the chain 3 here acts as a stitch. Okay, then you're going to chain 1 and skip these 2 double crochets. Into the next chain 1 space place 2 double crochets, like that. Then you chain 1, skip these 2. To the next chain 1 space place your 2 double crochets, then you chain 1, skip these 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, like that. Then you're going to keep repeating this pattern now until you get to the end of the row, and you're going to meet once you get to the end. When you get to the end you're going to chain 1 and join your work to the first stitch, like that. And this is how your work should look like at this point. Now you're going to go to the next row, and you're going to repeat exactly what we did on this third row. So you're going to chain 3 and make sure to turn your work. So turn your work, and you're going to start from that first chain 1 space by placing only 1 double crochet, because the chain 3 acts as a stitch. Okay, then you chain 1, then to the next chain 1 space you place your 2 double crochets, chain 1, go to the next chain 1 space with 2 double crochets, chain 1, to the next chain 1 space with 2 double crochets, chain 1, and just repeat. Okay, so this is how our work looks like at this point, and you're going to continue with this until you have the size that you need before we start shaping the upper part of the shirt. Okay, so I'm just going to show you from what I've already made, because I'm done working on this part. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, and have worked until row 17. Okay, so you're going to take the measurements, and I'm going to explain to you when you need to stop before we start working on the upper part of the shirt. So let's measure this and see. This measures approximately 8 inches. Okay, so at this point you're going to consider the full length of your shirt, and I'm working with a full length of 16 inches. You can do more if you want. Okay, and first you're going to minus 7 or 8 from your full length, because these measurements that you are minusing will be for the upper part of the shirt. So it depends if you want this part to be a bit longer or a bit shorter. So for our previous video I had minused 8, but for this video you're going to minus 7. Okay, so when you minus 7 from the 16, the full length, I get 9. Okay, and this measures 8 inches, so the 9th inch will be covered on this lower part. We're going to use the yellow color on this lower part, and it's going to take up 1 inch. So we have 1 inch here, 8 inches here, and you're going to do 7 inches at the upper part here. So the full length will be 16 inches. So I hope that is clear. So if you're working with more measurements than this, you're going to make this one longer. Then for the upper part, don't make it too long, just 7 or 8 inches. So you're going to do this one longer if you want a longer shirt. Now let's go ahead and continue. Now to continue, you're going to work on the back panel, then you're going to work on the front panel later. Okay, so go ahead and mark 2 points like the way I have marked mine. Go ahead and mark 2 points on the sides like this. Then you're going to work on one side first, then you're going to come to this other side after we are done with the back panel. So I've already chained 3 and have turned my work. So I'm just going to continue with the same pattern until I get to the other marked stitch. Just the same pattern, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1. So continue and you're going to meet once you get to this other side. Now I've gotten to my second stitch marker, and this is how my work looks like. Now I'm just going to chain 3 now and turn my work. We're working on one side first. Go ahead and place 2 double crochets in the first chain 1 space here, like that. Then you chain 1 and just continue with the same pattern. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and you're going to meet once you get to the end of the row. I'm almost getting to the end. Now I'm going to chain 1 and place 1 double crochet in this space here, and that will mark the end of this row. Then you're going to go to the next row. You're going to chain 3, turn your work, and into that first chain 1 space place 1 double crochet. Remember the chain 3 acts as a stitch. Okay, so this row is just like this first row here. Then you're going to chain 1 and just repeat the same pattern. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and just repeat. So you're going to meet once you get to the end. Place your last 2 double crochets in this space here, 1 and 2, like that, and that marks the end of this row. Now to begin the next row, so the next row is just like this second row here. You're going to chain 3, turn your work, and place 2 double crochets in the first chain 1 space. Okay, then just repeat the same pattern. Then when you get to the end, you're going to place 2 double crochets here and 1 double crochet here. Okay, and you're going to continue with that until you have 8 or 7 inches according to the size that you decide you're going to make on the upper part. So in my case, I'm going to continue until I have 7 inches from this point. So continue and you're going to meet once you're done with that, so that you can work on the front panel now. Now I'm done working on this part. I've made 7 inches, as you can see. Now we are done with the back panel. You're going to chain 1 and cut once you get to the end. Now let's go ahead and work on the front panel. So before you start, you're going to mark 2 points like the way I have marked. So you're going to count how many spaces you have here, then go ahead and mark 2 points in between, and I do have 7 stitches in between these 2 stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so you should have 7 or 6 stitches apart. So I'm going to go ahead and work on one side, then I'm going to show you how to do it on the other side. Okay, now I'm done working on the first side, and this is how it looks like. So I worked straight until I have 5 rows left. 1 2 3 4 5. Then I shaped the neckline. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing to this other side. Now you can take the measurements and see. This is where we started, the 7 inches. So I worked straight until I have 2.5 inches left, like that. Okay, then we shaped the 2.5. So let's go ahead and do the same thing to this other side. So I started from the mid part here. So I'm going to do this. Start here. So I'm going to remove this stitch marker. Go ahead and pick your yarn. Then you're going to attach like that. So we started on this double crochet here. So I'm going to chain 3, and you're going to begin on the first chain 1 space, which is this one. So place your 2 double crochets there, then chain 1, and just repeat the same pattern until I get to the last chain 1 space here. Now I've gotten to the end, so I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work. Then you're going to start from the first chain 1 space, place your 2 double crochets there, and just repeat. So you're going to meet once you get to the end. Like that. Now you're going to go to the next row, chain 3, and just repeat what you did on this row. Your last 2 double crochets, you're going to place them in this space. So chain 3, turn your work, and just repeat until you have 5 rows left, or until you have 2.5 inches left before you are done. So I'm going to continue with this until I have 4.5 inches. Then you're going to meet after that. Now I'm done making the 4.5 inches. Now you're going to shape the upper part, okay? And I'm left with only 5 rows. So let's go ahead and do it. So I ended up on this end. So I'm going to work up to this point. Then you're going to meet when you're almost at the end, because you're shaping only on one side, on the inner side. Now I'm almost getting to the end, and I'm left with 2 chain 1 spaces. I'm supposed to place 2 double crochets here and 2 double crochets here. So I'm going to place the last ones on this last chain 1 space here. Then you're not going to place anything here, just like that. Then you're going to turn your work. You need to start the next row on this first chain 1 space here. So turn your work, and you're going to slip stitch on the second double crochet. This is the first one. The second one is this one. So insert your hook, make a slip stitch, then slip stitch into the chain 1 space and chain 3, and place another double crochet there, like that. Now chain 1 and just continue the same pattern until you get to the end. This is how it looks like. So when you get to the end here, you're going to walk back, and you're going to meet when you're almost at the end. I'm almost getting to the end, so you're going to place your last 2 double crochets here. You're not going to place 1 double crochet at the end. That will be the end of this row. Okay, so now I have done 1 2 3. You're going to go to the 4th row, just turn your work, then to the second double crochet, make your slip stitch, and slip stitch the chain 1 space, and just begin the next row. Then chain 1, walk up to the end. Then when you get to the end, you're going to chain 3, walk back. You're going to meet when you get to this point. I'm almost at the end, so that will mark the end of this row. So 1 2 3 4 5. When you get to the end, you're going to chain 1, and you're not going to cut this yarn because you need to join it to this back panel here. Okay, so this is how your work should look like at this point. Okay, now let's go ahead and join this part, and I'm going to join it on the wrong side of my work. And at this point, this first row here will help you determine the wrong side and the right side of your work. Okay, so this is my right side and this is the wrong side. So I'm going to turn this to the wrong side so that we can join the shoulders like this. Now let's go ahead and join on the shoulders. So I'm just going to align to the back panel. And you're going to join with slip stitches. Then to the chain 1 spaces. And I'm going to continue with this now until I get to the end. Then I'm going to join on this other side, then you're going to meet once you're done with that. Now I'm done joining on both shoulders, and the part where we joined will be the wrong side of your work. So go ahead and turn to the right side. Like this. Then let's go ahead and work on this part. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to start on one of them, either this one or this other one. So I'm going to start at this point. Go ahead and attach your yarn like that. Then you're going to place 2 single crochets on each row. 1 and 2. Go to the next row here and place 2 single crochets as well. You just insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Go to the next row, place 2 single crochets in each until you get to the last row before you started doing the increases here. So this is my last row before we started doing the decreases, and I'm going to stop this part on this second last row here. Okay. Now let's go to the second row. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch until you get to the end. Like that. When you get to the end, you're going to chain 1 and just repeat what you did on the second row until you have the same amount of rows, like the amount of stitches that you left here. So here I had 7 stitches left. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that means I'm going to make 7 rows of single crochets. So just keep repeating the second row, and you're going to meet once you're done with both sides. So when you're done with the 7 rows on this side, go ahead and chain 1 and cut. Then attach your yarn on this other side. You can start on the upper part, then make 7 rows, then you're going to meet after that. Now I'm done working on both sides, and I went ahead and cut a long tail on the second one because I finished on this lower part. Okay, so this tail, you're going to use it to join these two to this part here, like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and work on the collar. You're going to start from this last single crochet row here at the end, like that. Then attach your yarn. Then you're going to work with half double crochets. So in each end of these single crochet rows, you're going to place 1 half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into the first one, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. Then go to the second one, three, 4, 5, 6, and the last one 7, like that. Now you're going to work on these double crochet rows, and in each end of row you're going to place 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Go to the next row, which is this one, 1, 2 and 3, like that. Go to the next row, 1, 2 and 3. I'm just going to continue with this until I'm done with this double crochet rows. Now I'm on my last one, 2 and 3, and this is how my work looks like. Now I'm going to work on the back panel, this part. So on this back panel you're going to place 1/2 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, it does not matter if it's a chain on space, you place 1/2 double crochet there. Then in each double crochet place 1/2 double crochet as well. So continue until you get to this point. I've gotten to the end. Now we're going to work on this other side. So just going to repeat whatever we did on this part. So you're going to place 3 half double crochets in each row, at the end of each row. Then when you get to this last row here, you're going to place 1/2 double crochet on each row of the single crochets at the ends here. Okay, so continue and you're going to meet once you're done with this row. Now I'm done with the first row of the collar, and this is how it looks like. Now let's go to the second row. And to start the second row, you're going to chain 2, and at the beginning and at the end you're going to do an increase. So to the first stitch you're going to place 2 half double crochets. So 1 and 2, and in each stitch in between you're going to place 1/2 double crochet. Then when you get to the end, your last stitch, you're going to place 2 half double crochets. Okay, so continue placing 1/2 double crochet in each stitch, and you're going to meet at the end of the row. Now I'm on the last stitch, and I'm going to place 2 half double crochets here, 1 and 2, like that. Then to begin the next row, you chain 2 and turn your work. So when you turn your work, you're going to place 2 double crochets in that first stitch, 2 half double crochets. So we are repeating what we did on this second row. Okay, and in each stitch you place 1 half double crochet. When you get to the end, you place 2 half double crochets there. Then just repeat, go to the next row and repeat what you did on the second row until you get to row 5. Then you're going to switch to the yellow color, make 2 rows with this. Then you're going to switch back to green for the last row. Okay, so that means you're making 8 rows in total. So continue and you're going to meet once you are done with that. And when you get to the row where you want to change the color, this is how you're going to do it. Let me just show you how you're going to do it. So let's say I want to change to the yellow color on the next row. So I'm going to finish like this. I'm going to finish this last row using the yellow color, like that. And that way you have attached the next color. Then you're going to chain 2 and just continue now. Okay, then in that first stitch you place your 2 half double crochets and just repeat the same pattern. Okay, so continue and you're going to meet once you are done with the collar, so that you can work on the sleeves. Now I'm done working on the collar, and this is how it looks like. So I made 2 rows of the yellow color, and the last row is the green color. Okay, so this is how your work should look like. Now I went ahead and worked on the first sleeve, but before we go ahead and work on the second sleeve, let's go ahead and join this lower part here. So I'm going to join this on the wrong side of my work. I'm just going to do this. This is the right side. Okay, so you're going to join it on the wrong side, and I'm going to use the long tail that I had cut and my darning needle like that. Now let's go ahead and join this. So align the three like this. Then let's go ahead and join. Remember, we do have 7 stitches here and 7 single crochet rows on this one and on this one. So I'm going to go to the first stitch, the first row, and the first row on this other side. Like that. Then go to the second stitch and the second row, and the second row on the other side, on the third one. So I'm just going to continue with this until I get to the end. Like that. So this is the wrong side of your work, and on the right side it's going to look like this. Okay, so I'm just going to weave in this loose end so that you can continue. And now we are done with this. And this is how this looks like. Okay, now let's go ahead and work on the second sleeve because I've already worked the first one. So I'm going to do this and start from this point. Go ahead and attach your yarn. Chain 1, and in each row you're going to place 2 single crochets. Okay, so insert your hook, pull up a loop, make 2 single crochets. So that is 1 and 2. Go to the next row, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and I'm going to keep placing 2 single crochets at the end of each row, and I'm going to work all round until I get back to this point. Okay, so we're going to meet once you get to the end. Now I'm almost getting to the end, and this is the last row on this side, and this is the first row on this side. So we do have these 2 stitches here. I'm going to place 1 single crochet in each like that. Then you can join our work with a slip stitch like that. Okay, now let us start the second row. Now to begin the second row, you're going to chain 3, and in that first stitch you're going to place 1 double crochet, then you chain 1 and skip 1 stitch. To the next stitch you place 1 double crochet, and to the next one place 1 double crochet as well. Then you chain 1, skip 1, to the next place 1 double crochet, and to the next one place 1 double crochet, and just keep repeating this pattern until you get to the end, and you're going to meet once you get to the end. I'm almost getting to the end, and I do have 3 stitches left, 1 2 3. So I'm going to skip 1 and work in the remaining 2 stitches. Now I don't have any stitch left, but you're going to make sure you chain 1 and join your work with a slip stitch like that, and that marks the end of the second row. Now to begin the third row, you're going to chain 3 and turn your work like that. Then into that first chain 1 space, place 1 double crochet, then you chain 1 and just go to the next chain 1 space with 2 double crochets. So now just repeating what we did on this part. Okay, chain 1, go to the next chain 1 space with 2 double crochets, then you chain 1 and just continue. Now when you get to the end, you join your work, chain 3 and turn, and just repeat. Okay, so you're going to keep doing that until you have let's talk about the measurements. From what I've already made, you can see that my sleeve measures 5 inches in length. Okay, and I continued with this pattern up to 1, 2. The first row is the single crochet row, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to continue with this, keep repeating this third row until row 8, then you're going to meet at that point so that we can start this last pattern here. Okay, so continue until you get to row 8 or until you have 3.5 inches, then you're going to meet at that point. I'm done making the 8 rows, so this measures 3.5 inches from this first single crochet row. Okay, now let's go ahead and work on the last part, this part. So you're not going to turn your work on the next row, so go ahead and chain 3, but make sure you're working on the right side of your work. So if you are on the wrong side, just turn your work. You need to work on the right side for this last part. So chain 3, and in each stitch you're going to place 1 double crochet, including the chain 1 space, then 1 double crochet in each stitch. Like that. So continue with this all round, and we'll meet once you get to the end of the row. Now I've gotten to the end of the row, so when you get to the end, you're going to join using the yellow color, but don't cut the green color, you're going to need it on the next row. So you're going to chain 3, and on this row you're going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, just 1 double crochet in each stitch all round, and you're going to meet once you get to the end so that you can work the last row together. When you get to the end, you're going to join using the green color. I'm going to cut this yellow, then go ahead and pick the green from behind, and you're going to do your slip stitch with it like that, then chain 1, and on this last row you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all round. So you're going to continue with this. When you get to the end, chain 1 and cut your yarn, then you're going to meet after that. Now we are done working on both sleeves, and this is how it looks like. Now let's go ahead and work on the last step, and that is this lower part. So we're going to do this, and you're going to attach your yarn at any stitch. Pick your yellow color, you're going to attach, then chain 3, and you're going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch all round. Okay, like that, 1 double crochet in each stitch, that is how it looks like. So this is the right side of your work. So when you get to the end, you're going to switch to the green yarn, and you're going to do like we did on the sleeves. You're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all round, then you're going to meet after you're done with that. Now I'm done working on the shirt. So after making the double crochet row, the yellow color, I switched to green and made 1 single crochet in each stitch all round. Okay, this is how our work looks like at this point, and we are done, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and if you've not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And that is it, guys. See you on the next video.